So good morning, everybody, and welcome to our yoga sadhana. This is a practice of yoga, chanting, and meditation as a means to help us to center and to be more present all throughout our day. So let's go ahead and find a comfortable seat. You can choose whatever version of that is most comfortable for you. It could be legs out long or it could be legs crossed. And you might take a few moments here just to kind of rock side to side and get yourself to settle a little bit. If the body's just waking up, or perhaps it's finishing a long day for some of us, whatever you need to do, if it's stretching the arms out, or opening, closing the hands, or reaching them above the head. I like to twist side to side a couple of times and just getting everything a little more activated, a little more present. You can look up and down with the chin even to get free the region of the throat, over one shoulder or the other. Let's go ahead and rub the palms together. Make sure you get some heat going in between the palms. Once you feel that heat building, you can place them over your eyes and take a nice deep inhalation through the nose. Press the heels of the hands into the sinus a little bit. And when you're ready to exhale, like you're parting a curtain, just part the hands and slide them down the face and come right back into rubbing. Eyes can stay closed or they can be open. Totally your choice. Just get some of that healing heat of the hands, and we'll use that onto the eyes with a deep inhalation. Good, and this time circulate the hands up to the scalp and just use the tips of the fingers to move the scalp around a little bit. Notice if there are any areas that might be a little sore, or a little stiff, or where the skin is a little tight. When you feel to, you can take a deep inhalation and reach the arms up overhead, face the palms up, flip the fingers behind you, get a nice lengthening through the heels of your hands, sit up tall through your spine. And when you feel the natural exhalation, drop the shoulders, let the elbows slightly bend, and just slide the hands like you're sliding them down the wall on either side of the body until they come back and down. You can face the palms up on the lap. We're going to continue with the chant to be both our pranayama, or our breathing practice this morning, and also to help open the heart. So if you'd like, you can close your eyes, you can keep your eyes open. If you know the chant, you can chant along. When you're chanting, remember this is a prayer that is set to a melody. So it's not just that we're singing a song, but we're actually speaking through song to the divine in our own way. Night and day, open wide I keep for thee. Door of my heart, open wide I keep for thee. Wilt thou come, wilt thou come, just for once come to me. Wilt thou come, wilt thou come, just for once come to me. Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Night and day, I look for thee, night and day. Night and day, I look for thee, night and day. Night and day, I look for thee, night and day. Night and day, I look for thee, night and day. Door of my heart, open wide I keep for thee. Door of my heart, open wide I keep for thee. Wilt thou come, just for once come to me. Let's take a moment here with the eyes closed, your attention centered in your heart. To physically relax this part of your body, that you might feel that your heart is opening, becoming more receptive. As we practice this morning, invite God into your heart. And ask this divine presence to guide you, to show you how to move your body in a way that promotes a harmonious effect, to breathe in a way that transmutes and transforms the emotions in the heart and the energy circulating through the body. Ask to be guided. And in your own way of self-offering, offer to share your practice with the divine, to feel that you're dancing together, share your joys, share the challenges that you face in particular parts of the body and muscles, joints, even in the heart or the mind. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let's continue in this spirit. We'll take a deep inhalation, and as you lift the arms above the head, you can open the eyes to look up to the ceiling. And then exhale, let shoulders drop, elbows bend, hands slide down on either side of the body. Just going to do this a couple of times. Inhaling, you can lift the palms up the front side of the body. Flip the fingers behind you at the peak of your inhalation. Reach through heels of the hands, and then as the exhale begins, drop shoulders, elbows bend. Press the hands away from the ears. Let them come all the way down. Maybe one more time here. This is a lovely way to open the region of the heart. Fingers flip behind you. And then slide the shoulders down, elbows bend, hands slide down on either side of the body. When you reach the earth, take a deep breath and fold the fingers up onto the shoulders. Fingers point down the front side, thumbs on the back side, and just circle the whole shoulder joint and the elbows together. Energetically in our shoulders, they carry the burden of the energy of should, things that we should have done. I should have been this way, or I should have been that way. And then reverse the rotation. So just like you're sliding a coat off of your shoulders as you're moving, let go of any mental burden that we may have placed upon ourselves. And the last time, just unfurl your arms like the leaves on a plant. Let them come behind you, fingers come down to the ground, turn the palms to face down. We're going to lean back to free our feet forwards and start by just pointing the toes. And maybe you lift the hips just a little bit off the ground as you point the toes. And then flex the toes towards the face and drop the chin towards the chest. So we're just going to move through this little sequence. You can bend your knees if you need to, but we're just pointing and lifting the hips a tiny bit. Bent knees you might use. And then come down, toes towards the face, chin towards the chest. You can match it with the breath by inhaling on your lift, rising with energy, exhale, relaxing, offering the shape forward as your chin meets your chest. Let it be a smooth movement, all of your movements linked by an invisible thread of inner peace. When you're ready, you can go ahead and draw one foot up towards the center of your body here. I'll show you. And if you can cross that foot over. If it's too challenging for your body, just sit nice and tall. So the idea here is to sit up as tall as you can. We're going to wrap our left arm around the right leg and just let your heart turn out to the side. Some of us might just be able to hold on to the knee. In any case, the closer that you bring your knee towards your chest and towards your body, the greater the opening on the outside of the hip. And try flexing the toes of the extended leg towards the face. Try pointing them. Find a nice, comfortable position. And we'll start with our first affirmation. I radiate love and goodwill to soul friends everywhere. Lead with the heart as you stand up through your spine. I radiate love and goodwill to soul friends everywhere. Let's get into the region of the neck just by broadcasting chin to either shoulder, moving between the two, and relaxing all of those fine-tuned little subtle muscles that exist in the neck and letting them soften. You can drop the chin down towards the chest and roll the head from one side to the other. Good. And then eventually coming back to center, and we'll leave the position, so unstepping the foot and just taking a moment to sit up nice and tall, flex the toes of the extended foot, and sit as tall in your spine as you can. It can be helpful to actually pull on the shin to get the heart to release forwards. Good, let's close the eyes, look right up to the point between the two eyebrows with deep inhalation. And exhale, you can release the whole shape. So let's go ahead, we'll set for the other side. To keep everything even, draw the knee up in, and if you can step over the leg, feel free. And this time it's the right arm that's going to come around and hug around this front leg. I'll show you from the other side here. Hugging around the leg, and the back hand is your support. If you push off of that hand, it helps you to lengthen your spine. That's your back hand. And you might need to even reach and sort of pull the muscle of the belly out to the side. Just make sure there's some clearance in this part of the body. If it's hugging towards your thigh, maybe you focus on that feeling of contact between leg and lower belly as an anchor point for your attention. And we'll just breathe here, easing into our twist. Especially early in the practice, the mind can be roaming down wild tracks of thought, trains of thought taking off, leaving in every direction for all major cities of who knows where. What I invite you to do is to hold yourself still. And this takes a considerable amount of energy to be present in your body, to relax and hold yourself still. If you can physically relax your heart, we'll use the affirmation to help us. I radiate love and goodwill to soul friends everywhere. It's the heart that is the primary seat of restlessness. Draw another deep breath and let this part of the body relax and become still. And maybe a final inhalation. We lengthen up through the spine. You stand as tall as you can, like you were going to touch the crown of the head towards the ceiling above you. And then the exhalation can take you releasing out. And we're unstepping and sitting nice and tall. These in-between moments or pause moments are sort of like if you're conducting an experiment in the laboratory and now you're watching to see the results. You've added all the stimulus. Just take a moment. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and open your eyes. So we're going to take both of our feet down to the ground, knees are bending, and we're going to hold onto the backs of our thighs and continue on with a boat pose. This is a wonderful posture to help us in preparation for meditation or just to strengthen our spine in general. If you don't feel that you need your hands, you just release them out and keep hugging knees and ankles together. The further you go back, well, experiment. I'm sure you'll know what happens once you get there. Just breathe into the sensation. And remember our original intention to invite the divine into our hearts. This is such a broad opening of the heart. One of the many divine qualities is power. And in this affirmation, we are calling on that power in our breath. The affirmation, within my every breath is infinite power. You can get even wider here if you feel confident in the position. Just don't compromise in your low spine by folding backwards. Better to hold on to the legs than to lose that integrity in the spine. Within my every breath is infinite power. When you're ready, you drop the hands behind you, and as a way to release, fingers pointing towards the heels, inhale and lift your belly. Use the strength of your legs and look right over your navel. Try to relax your shoulders so that they can open more deeply. If you can hold for one more breath, wonderful. And then exhale, we're going to go ahead and set down towards the earth. So let's go ahead and sit in between the hands, and we're going to extend our legs as wide as we can get them to go today. So if your legs look like this with knees bent, that's totally all right. You just find what you need to. And it can be helpful to walk yourself forwards a little bit here. Get the whole shape to lean forwards, and we're just going to lean towards one side or the other. If your inner thighs are really stimulated, take your hands in soft fists and use right underneath the knuckle, just to rub along that inside line of, well, it's probably a tendon right inside of there. If your knees are particularly talkative this morning, give them a rub as well. If your low spine is sensitive in this pose, take your hands behind you and just lean back and lift through the heart. If your toes are flopped out in some direction, try opening and closing the toes so that you really feel the whole line of energy that is your legs coming right into center. So everything's stimulating. At some point we are leaning forwards. So take your time. This posture is a wonderful way to practice humility, as it takes much time for the body to open, and we just accept the reality of what's happening in our body without placing extra demands on it. If anybody can reach towards their feet, you're of course most welcome to. The primary focus in this pose is to drop the chin towards the chest when you're leaning forward. You can even brace in front of you. If you can touch your chin towards your chest, it's a little bonus here. There's an energetic lock or seal at that point in the body. The affirmation, I welcome each new opportunity for further growth. Careful not to get stale in this pose. If it becomes intense, give a little bit of movement. I welcome each new opportunity for further growth. If you'd like, you can lean over to one side and just hang out there for a few moments and be patient with your body. Maybe asking the divine, asking God, how do you wish for me to be in this moment? How can I be more in tune with you in this particular shape? And if you can soften your heart and be willing to receive guidance, you'd be amazed how much the shape can change. We're going to go to the other side if you haven't already. Let the breath keep flowing. The breath is the life in your practice. If we're holding the breath, we are withholding life from ourselves. So let the breath come in and flow out and clean that channel. We're going to slowly start to come back up to, and it's very important to take the hands behind, and you're going to fold your shoulders back and behind. Pin the shoulder blades together and relax the shoulders. Chest nice and broad. And it may be subtle, but watch right along the center of your body and feel that wonderful inner experience of yourself. And let's slowly come out. We're going to fold the feet up in towards the center. And if you can bring the feet together, wonderful. If you need to send them far out away from the body in order to accommodate the shape, feel free. The closer you go to the center of your body, the more demanding it is of your inner thighs and your hips. Just take a moment here to massage your feet. Your feet hold a map for your entire body. Energetically, every single channel in your body finds expression and is represented on the feet. So just by a little bit of massage, you're stimulating energy to flow in those channels. Just think like you have great big power lines running all through your body of electromagnetic energy. And you're turning on all of the light switches right now to draw that energy into your house. Good, and if you can go ahead and let's start on the left side. So we'll take right hand and hold on to the ankle. And you're going to draw your chest forward. This might already be a little challenging. Draw your chest forward and send your other arm reaching up and over to the side. If your heart is bowing down towards the ground, better to hold your hand on your heart and pull your heart forwards. If you can get the arm up and around, feel free, but keep that heart nice and open. This is a challenging pose. And then you're leaning over to the side. Just take a little bit of a lean. Keep going until you find your own point of maximum expression. When you're ready, relax the heart back, let it concave, switch hands. So same thing, you can even press off of your thigh if you'd like. So if you watch my body, you can see that you're lifting your heart out. So it's a little bit of a twist at first. And then let's start to settle this shoulder over towards the knee. And if you feel that you can reach an arm, maybe just up like this, maybe up and around. Really, we're buying time here, enjoying this opportunity as the lower body is relaxing to invite the upper body to participate. And then when you're ready, if you can, you're going to cross your hands holding onto either ankle, and you're going to pull on your shins or your ankles so the feet come together and your heart threads right through the center. Remember, the loudest person in the room is often not the most intelligent. It's the same with our practice. It's not the gross movements. It's the quiet, the subtle, sensitive, and finely tuned movements that get the body to really relax and open. When you're ready, you can release and just fold the knees. Give your body a little bit of help, and we're going to set the feet enough away from the hips and fingers behind us. I like to point out to either side, and then roll the knees side to side and come right up onto one hip and then the other. So, exaggerating the movement. Get the whole spine to really start rotating and warming and moving, expressing. And if you can take it into the shoulders, into the heart, even into the head, you can look over the opposite shoulder or look back behind you. And then just make sure you end on the opposite side. It should be over to the left if you started on the right. And then we're going to come up to center position here. Let's hold on to the backs of our legs. And a little different here, you're sort of giving yourself a hug. So maybe you can only use your hands, maybe you can get your forearms. And you're going to pull your thighs right close towards your body and sit up nice and tall. Now some of us may be able to rock and find this little balance point where we can lift our feet. So you're hugging the thighs in towards the body and you're using the strength of those thighs to lift your feet. You may look at this pose and think, no way, and that's perfectly fine. You can always keep your feet on the ground. In any position, our attention or the invitation is to place it in your spine. Good. Now if you feel quite confident, try releasing one hand out to the side. And then go ahead and wrap that arm back around, holding onto the legs. Try the other side. Now if you're curious to see what would happen, even if it means that your feet go back down to the ground, try releasing the feet and opening the hands. This is your full boat pose. And breathe. You're sailing over the open ocean, and the winds of inspiration, power are floating you along in this pose. And then of course you come down and rest for a moment. So let's go ahead, we'll sweep our feet around, and we're going to continue with our practice on our knees for a few moments. Just extend the legs, point the toes, and sink the hips back just a little. Be mindful, this can be a lot on your hips, and then send your other foot reaching back. If you need to, leave the foot on the ground, but just extend the leg. That's the focus here. Let's go back to the other side. So we have right leg extended, hands under the shoulders. We're going to drop the belly and embrace the natural curve of the spine. This is cow pose with one extended leg. And just pause here for a few moments and breathe, allowing the kidneys to flush. The more generous you are with the breath, the greater the cleansing in the inner body. You're ready to come down, both knees to the ground. Extend from the earth up onto the tips of the fingers and round the back. Look to your lap. Big cat rounding position here. Tuck the chin tight towards the chest. If you can touch the chest, that's a bonus. And the exhalation naturally brings you back to the ground. Get hands broad when you feel stable. Send left foot reaching back. Same as the other side. We're going to find a deep expression of the natural curve in the low spine. Release the belly down. As much as the belly is releasing down, the energy of this shape is though you were going to spring off the starting line. So pull on the heels of the hands a little bit. Relax your shoulders down the back body. And feel that you have room to express in your throat, that it's not frozen in this particular position, but that you're like a turtle coming out of the shell, extending. Stay longer if you'd like. Exhalation takes you right back almost into a child's pose, and then roll yourself up and peel on the tips of the fingers for your cat position. The closer your hands get to your knees, the bigger the rounding of the back becomes. The tighter the chin towards the chest, the greater the opening in the back side of the skull. And when you're ready to come down, just slowly return to center. Okay, we're going to try something interesting here. Take your left knee one step back and your right knee one step forwards. If you can cross your foot underneath, you're welcome to. And it's just a different way to get into pigeon pose. So we're going to slide down. So you might be up here still. And if you are, take your hands a little bit broader, a little closer towards the knee, and try to look up. This is a good place to start. If you can slide down, you're really rolling your shoulders behind you, and you're drawing your chin in towards your throat so that your heart is the first part of your torso to meet the world. You know, there are actually people out there whose hearts are so open that it's quite literally the first part of their body to meet the world, and this is what we're working towards. To get the heart so open that it arrives first in all situations. So when you're ready to come out of the position, we'll stay a little longer on the second side. You're just rocking yourself forwards and lifting back up. So keep the knee further enough away that you can slide your front foot out of the way, and then just switch sides. So your knee goes back, your hands are quite far away to give you enough room to maybe thread that foot between. You can also leave it just centered under the body. This is a good modification. And if you're here, try to embrace the natural curvature of your spine and lift your heart a little. If you can slide down further, wonderful. You go right down into the position that your body allows. And it's important as you do arrive, especially if your hips go low, walk your hands a little closer towards your body and relax your shoulders down and back behind you. Let your heart lift, pulling on heels of the hands. The affirmation, I rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. I rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. Keep drawing energy up towards the heart and the crown of the head so that it doesn't pool in the lower back. And when you're ready, we're going to take a rest as we come out of this pose. So just slide that back knee onto the ground enough to take some weight. And we're coming into child's pose. Knees stay close together for a gentle version. Those of us looking for something more expansive, you take knees nice and wide and then walk your hands in between that shape. So just be mindful of what your body actually needs. If child's pose is very challenging in this way, you can always come onto your back and just hug your knees towards your chest. You can think of each of these postures, we are sending a message out into the universe, and it's the resting posture that we have a unique opportunity to listen for the response. So when you're in this pose, you may like to bring your attention into the heart. And you can listen here, you can speak to the divine, asking what is trying to happen in this moment? What are you trying to show me? How can I be in perfect attunement with you in this moment? Let's make sure that we end this rest at the point between the two eyebrows. This part of your forehead might be touching onto the ground. Or you might just imagine looking up. And it's like the skylight in your home. It's where all of the light gets in. A deep inhalation, exhale, we can release the practice. We're going to slowly come up, gently coming up through tabletop position. So let's just go ahead and reach one of our feet back. You can point the toes and rest on the top side of your foot. And then set that side down, go right to the other side. Just an opportunity to get the knee to lengthen out. Beautiful. All right, we're going to come into a lunging position. Good time for cushion on your knees if you need it. Walk your hands over to the right side of your mat, and you're going to point the left foot all the way back. Now you can bend the knee and hike that knee high up and bring it around, or you can do anything you'd like. And we're going to come all the way to the front. Walk the hands up this supportive structure of your legs, and we're in our lunging position. So we're going to join the hands, and as you join the hands, feel that the energy of your legs is drawing to center. Everything coming in like you're holding a belt around your waist that's tight. All the energy comes in, and when you inhale to draw the hands into your heart, feel that union of energy. If you feel to, you can lean forwards a little bit more. You can also reach the arms up overhead, leaving them in prayer position in this version. So this is your lunging pose. Now there's a point right at the base of the spine. It's the pelvic floor, so right between where the legs connect to the torso at the center. There is a bundle of muscles there. It's called Mula Bandh in this yogic tradition. And if you imagine that you are drawing those muscles up, this is how we engage that part of the body. Think like the drain plug in your tub. You're putting a plug to all that energy that would otherwise just pour out and leave the body. Typically it becomes easier to hold a position when you're engaging this musculature, this energetic lock. And when you're ready to, you inhale, stand up over your supportive knee. That's your right knee in this case. Hands come down. And then we're going to walk ourselves down, just left hand to the knee and then right hand to the ground. If you feel to, you can curl the back toes under and lift that knee if the body wants a little more stimulation. And your opposite hand is going to reach up to the sky in any case. So we're in a twisting lunge. And really tuning into the radiance of the heart. Anytime that we're twisting, we are stimulating the solar plexus, the fire quality in our body, and it's that light that emits from that part of the body that shines into the heart as power and energy. When you're ready to come down, you just lower yourself down. Take hands onto the inside of the leg and slide step that foot. You can circle it out wide if you need to, and it comes all the way around. Good. Let's go ahead and keep the nose nice and low and slide right into cow position. And then exhale, you can return to neutral. Hands come to the left side. And again, as you extend your back leg, you have the option. It demands a lot of your spine, so be mindful. You can take your knee nice and high and then step up and around. Hand comes up onto supportive knee. Stand tall. You can untuck your back toes if you'd like. If you feel like you're going to tip over either side, just walk the front foot out away from the center of the body to widen the stance. Same as the other side. Like you're picking up all of your baggage. You're getting all of your energetic supplies. You're drawing yourself up to the center. And just release the hands up into the heart and feel that sense of unity in your body. If you feel to, you can start leaning forwards and reach the arms up overhead. And be mindful of what's happening in your shoulders. Often we are pretending like it's cold out when we're practicing and our shoulders are locking up towards our ears. Just let them relax. You're in a warm climate of inner peace. Hopefully you're actually in a warm climate in your home that allows you to relax. Good. And as you tune into this pose, you'll notice that it takes a certain amount of holding center energy, right? We can't just sort of totally relax into the pose. There's a certain amount of integrity required throughout the body. You might just breathe into that for a few moments. In all cases, your posture leads to standing up over the left knee, hands come down, and we're taking right hand this time to the knee as a brace, and then left hand comes to the earth. If you're lifting the back knee, tuck your toes, and you're coming into a long runner's lunge. And then you're sending your hand up to the sky and opening the heart. So sometimes our hips get way, way high up there. Try to keep the hips as low as they can be for your body. If your knee's on the ground, your hips are perfect as they are. I radiate love and goodwill to soul friends everywhere. I radiate love and goodwill to soul friends everywhere. Careful as we awaken heat that it does not become so intense. We're slowly coming down that it burns us in our practice. Hands under the inside of the foot, and we're slide stepping around. We're coming all the way down onto our bellies to take a moment of respite here. So take your knees far away from your hands and slowly lower yourself down. Now, very important to make sure that you can lay onto the hips. So if there's anything in the way, go ahead and move or adjust yourself as necessary. Hands under the face, elbows under the shoulders. So you can roll your shoulders down and back and then peel your heart up here. So really push out of your elbows and then draw them towards your hips. Your toes are aligned behind you and they're pointing. If your lower spine feels like a crowded room, then leave the room, get some fresh air. You might need to adjust the posture. You might need to come down to take some breaths. Now, most important is what's happening in the throat. So draw the chin towards the throat. Just think like the image of a cobra drawing itself back and the hood expanding. The back of your neck is expanding. Now you might just stay here and breathe, and this is a wonderful pose. If you'd like to come into the Cobra Pose, lower yourself down by spreading the elbows, weights on the hands. You take hands right underneath your shoulders. Elbows, rather than being wide like a push-up, are right by the ribs. Touch your forehead to the ground. When you're ready to push down through your pelvic bone, that's right on the front side of your hips, and start to slowly peel yourself up. Keep the hips on the ground. Go only as high as you're ready to. This is a wonderful pose for opening your heart. Try to keep your shoulders down and relaxed. It takes quite a bit of arm strength for this pose, so be mindful of how long you stay. One round of affirmation. I rise joyfully to meet each new opportunity. You slowly lower down when you're ready. So in between, you might like to take the hands on a little pillow and bend the knees and wave the feet side to side. Just get everything to let go. Just think all of those little powerful supportive muscles in your low spine, keeping everything together. They finally get a break. Let them relax. We're going to come back into the Cobra Pose, and you can always just be resting on your belly. You can be in a totally different pose if you want. But if you're with us, hands come right underneath your shoulders, elbows close by the ribs. Touch the forehead down. Push down through your pelvic bone. You'll know that you're doing it because you can float your knees. Your toenails will still touch the ground, but your knees will float. That's how you know you're pressing your pelvis. And then slowly start to press into the hands and lift yourself up. And draw your heart through the front side of your practice by pulling on the heels of the hands. Strong in your pose, yet light enough that joy can flow. I rise joyfully to meet each new opportunity. I rise joyfully to meet each new opportunity. Never lose touch with your smile, no matter how challenging it might be. Good. And then exhale, slowly come down. So we'll take that little nest and just bend the knees. And you can wave the feet if you'd like to, or you just leave them bent and relaxed. If you can center your breath down into your belly, this may present you with the opportunity to feel a quality of openness in your lower spine, in the region of your kidneys. In your own timing, we're going to come up onto the elbows, and this is a resting pose. So if you'd like, you can close the eyes. Just take a few moments here. See if you can become aware of your spine and any other internal sensations. And your mantra or the affirmation for this pose: I rise joyfully to meet each new opportunity. I rise joyfully to meet each new opportunity. We'll all finish with attention at the point between the two eyebrows. If you'd like, you can close the eyes and just imagine you have a spotlight shining out from that point. And find all of the unruly citizens of your mind now focused in one united direction of attention. When you're ready to, you relax out by transferring weight into the hands and relaxing the belly, spreading elbows out of the way. Now we've been here for a while, so be very mindful as you move. Use the knees for support. Look behind you as you start to lift up. Now gentle version is coming right into child's pose, and just take your rest. If you'd like to really invigorate the energy, tuck the toes underneath and we come into hare pose. You hold onto the heels and drop your head to the ground. And then you lift your hips away from the heels and make the biggest rounding shape of your back as you can. So it's an exaggerated cat position. If you're in hare pose, pull on your heels a little bit. No weight on the head, please. And we'll join in unison for the affirmation for hare pose. I'm master of my energy. I'm master of my body. I'm master of my energy. I'm master of my body. And right in the heart of the position, ask in your own heart, is this the expression that you wish from me? Asking the divine to guide you, and be receptive to that guidance by relaxing the body. And all in good timing, we come down into child's pose. Take your time, just no rush to arrive there. We're going to take a deep rest here. Some of us may feel more comfortable transitioning onto our backs at this point and taking the knees in towards the chest, and know that that's perfectly fine. And we'll start preparing our mind for the transition and extending mind and energy into the body. And then find a little bit of wakefulness We're coming up through a seated posture and we're just sliding the feet out of the way so that we can come down onto our backs. So you can hold onto your legs as you come down. You can take a little roll if you'd like, forwards and backwards. Just be mindful of the health in your spine. And we're going to finish with one final pose. So this may just be knees towards the chest. It could be a happy baby position, which is knees towards shoulders, feet open wide. If you'd like to do an inversion, just take a look at me before you attempt it, unless you've been practicing for a very long time, in which case you still might watch. Elbows come into the ground. You're going to gently extend the legs over the face and time the movement. Press off of your elbows and lift your hips into your hands. As you get stable in the position, you're finding a balance point of weight between your hands or your elbows and your upper back. And we'll stay here for as long as you feel comfortable within reason. If you need to come down for any reason, there's too much pressure in the face, the heart feels overwhelmed, and let's center our energy right to the point between the two eyebrows and ask God, ask the divine to show you how to rest in this pose. What is the essence of this pose and how can I align myself with that? And then open your heart, open that doorway, and through calm feeling, listen to the whispers of the heart. And this is a wonderful opportunity for all of us to embrace some final expressions before we rest. So if you're in the supportive shoulder stand, you can slowly start to release down. Bending knees towards the chest and gently releasing hips out of the hands. If you'd like a twist at the end of class, maybe you'd like to twist. So we're taking final moments to get the body to truly settle. If your body feels sleepy, this is an opportunity to wake the body up. Take a double inhalation and tense through the whole body. And then release on exhale. We are looking for wakefulness in the silence. Resting into Shavasana if you haven't entered already, lying on your back, legs extending. Our Final affirmation, bones, muscles, movement, I surrender now. Anxiety, elation, and depression, churning thoughts, all these I give into the hands of peace. Bones, muscles, movement, I surrender now. Anxiety, elation, depression, churning thoughts, all these I give into the hands of peace. We have about 5 minutes to be with the divine in our own way, in our heart, in silence. Just allow a moment to be still in the physical body, to feel the prana, the vitality circulating through the physical body. The presence of the soul. And the peace that rests in your mind. As you feel ready to, you can invite first conscious breath in through the nose. Feel energy extending from the center of your being out towards your arms and your legs, into the head. And let that become into movements of fingers and toes. And keep growing as you wake the entire body up, gradually, intuitively stretching, just like when you first wake up in the morning. Deep breath, allowing vibration, revitalization. Knees can come in towards the chest when you feel called to, and we'll just roll off to the side. If you need a moment to transition, you're most welcome. But we're coming back to a comfortable seated posture. We'll close our class together. Once you do arrive, sit nice and tall through your spine and feel the gravity of arriving at this place and in this moment. Let's ascend to the high temple of our own body at the point between the two eyebrows. Let your heart relax forwards and draw the energy up through your body. We'll center hands into prayer in front of the heart. We'll close with healing prayers for others. Pray with me if you'd like, or pray in the language of your own heart. Divine Mother, Thou art omnipresent. Thou art in all Thy children. Manifest Thy loving presence in the bodies, the minds, and the souls of all Thy children. If there's someone in particular you'd like to pray for, you can say their name or call them into this space. We'll offer our bodies as a conduit or a channel for grace. Let's rub the palms together. We'll Om 3 times, hands by the sides of the head. Relax your shoulders and your heart. hands. You can come back to prayer when you feel called. A gentle bow of the head towards the hands in prayer. We bow to the divinity that expresses within each one of us. We bow to the God within by saying Namaste, Namaste. Well, thank you all very much for joining this morning and for sharing these moments together. I hope that this provides you with an anchor for the rest of your day, that you can respond to situations in your life from a place that is loving, that is kind, and that is connected to God and the divine. Namaste, everyone. Have a wonderful day.